Hi, welcome back to Bounce Forward with me, Tiff Hall. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in which I'm recording this podcast, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I pay my respects to elders past and present. Jamie contacted me with a great question. What was it like training to be in a bodybuilding competition? What happened to your body once the competition was over and you weren't training, eating in the same way? What an excellent question, Jamie. Well, let's start with the diet floored me. I had never been on a diet before in my life. I'd always eaten for performance because I'd been in the sport of taekwondo, and it was like you just eat to fuel your body and food was fuel. And so then I went on this very restrictive diet. I think it was mostly like boiled chicken, no seasoning, no oil, no nothing, no sauces, nothing. A bit of sweet potato at certain times, like just before training, and oats for breakfast, and some eggs and tuna as snacks. And I think there was like a handful of almonds at one stage I was allowed to have. Anyway, fish for dinner, salad. Oh, kill me now. And I found myself for the first time in my life craving things, like planning what junk I would eat when the whole saga was over, planning that I would just, pull over at the servo and get bags of lollies and chips. That wasn't me. I always, if I wanted a lolly, if I wanted some chips, I'd friggin' have them. Like I was always training and healthy and, allowed to have them. But as soon as I wasn't allowed to have them, I was like dreaming of Magnums and Tim Tams. It was just, and bread. So unhealthy. And I didn't know anything back then about reverse dieting. So I did the diet, lost a lot of weight and won the competition, and then went back to normal eating, but also was like eating lots of sugary stuff because I'd been deprived of it. Lots of toast, lots of bread, lots of croissants, lots of like biscuits and things that I wasn't allowed to have, and I blew out. I actually put on like 5 kilos in a week, and that's not fat, but it's water and carbs. And, for me at the time that didn't understand any of this stuff, psychologically damaging because I was only in my 20s, and I vowed never to do it again because I did put on so much weight in a week. I had a lack of support, lack of resources. There wasn't social media. You can't learn about this stuff. Like I had this coach, this guy who like had handed me a piece of paper with the diet on it and said, train and eat this. And I just literally did it and then won the competition. And there was just no support. But now I know that there's reverse dieting and you need to reverse it. And reverse dieting is a strategy commonly used in bodybuilding, particularly over periods of calorie restriction, such as those in prep for competition. And the process involves gradually increasing your calorie intake following the diet to boost metabolism and restore hormone levels without causing excessive fat gain. So my hormones went crazy. I lost my period. I could tell my hormones were all over the place, and psychologically it was really damaging. So reverse dieting, the primary purpose is to avoid that rapid weight gain after the calorie restriction and to boost the metabolism and conserve energy. So you want to really return to a normal or higher calorie intake, but how do you not put on a lot of fat in doing that? So you need to implement this. The way you came into the diet, you sort of come out of it. And it can take months of gradually introducing carbohydrates and fats over weeks and weeks and months. And it's so gradual that the body adapts to the high calorie levels without storing that excess fat. And then you have that metabolic adaptation. So it's incrementally increasing food intake. You give your metabolism time to catch up and speed up to its normal rate. And this can help maintain the lean physique, but also getting you out of that calorie deficit. So the steps are increase calorie intake slowly, maybe 50 to 100 calories a week, monitor your progress, and then focus on that macronutrient balance, ensuring that you're getting adequate protein, carbs, fats, and continue to train and be patient and flexible, because I had put on so much weight in that first week. I had the all or nothing mentality at the time. I was like, oh, I put on 5 kilos in a week. I'm not going to bother training. I felt disgusted with myself. I was just so in a bad headspace. Like that competition was the worst thing I've ever done in my life. And so I think that you really do need to go into these things with good support, being educated, and having a plan. You can't just diet, go on stage, and then just eat whatever you like. You need to reverse diet. And that was the biggest takeaway. And I just wish I never did it, to be honest, because it really stuffed up my relationship with food for months and months to come. And it took me a long time to get back to equilibrium where I felt normal in my body, to be honest. Even though I looked great on stage and had won and all those things were fantastic, I just don't think it was worth it because my relationship with food was more important at the end of the day. Thanks so much for listening to Bounce Forward. I love having your company, so please DM me on Instagram at tiffhall_XO and let me know what topics you'd love me to cover and send me all your questions. Don't forget to rate and review me on the podcast app. Speak soon. Happy days.